Hello everybody, as you may know, the round of 32 bracket has been released in the latest episode of BattleBots. Most of you will have seen it already. However, at the time of recording this, I've literally not yet seen the bracket. I've paused the episode in front of me and I'm about to watch it for the first time. I thought I'd try something new and give you my live reactions to the seedings and so on. If you haven't yet seen the bracket, please go and do that first, since I don't want to ruin it for you with my rambling and so on. And finally, this video should be protected on the face, but we'll see how it goes. Let's watch a video.
Who was deemed worthy of the 4th overall seed? The selection committee could have gone a number of different ways here.
Oh my goodness! My gosh!
It's Uppercut!
Okay, so Uppercut gets the 4th seed. That's kind of interesting because Uppercut is 2-1, and there's at least 5 or 6 robots who are 3-0, and therefore a few of them have been seeded below Uppercut. I know it was really impressive, and people were expecting it to be seeded really highly, but it is 2-1 after all, so it should be seeded at least 7th in my opinion. But, you know, I can see where they're coming from. It's fair enough. It's very, very impressive, so good luck to Uppercut.
Let's find out who they'll have to contend with to make it out of this group.
What the hell? It's not even 30 seconds in and I'm already annoyed. Why is Beta seeded 13th? Why is Mad Cat seeded 12th? I've just noticed that. Why is Mad Cat 12th? Why are they both seeded behind Black Dragon? They are 3-0. 3-0. 3 dominant wins each, and they're seeded like behind decent 2-1 robots. Like, no disrespect to the Black Dragon team at all. It's a fantastic robot, but it did lose. It did lose. And you know what Beta and Mad Cat haven't done yet? Lose. Like, I know strength of schedule is a thing, but they've been really impressive. They're 3-0 for a reason. I cannot understand why you'd put them so far below certain 2-1 robots. It really baffles me. Tombstone got a decent, like, fair seeding. Like, I thought that they would give Tombstone some ridiculously high seeding, despite the fact that it's 1 and 2. But you know, it makes sense. It's got a good matchup there against Mad Catter. All of the fights themselves look great so far, by the way. Like, I'm looking forward to each of these fights here. But these seedings, some of them are actually not making any sense to me. So hopefully it improves as we go along.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's number 3 overall seed is...
Oh! This fight is over!
Copperhead!
Copperhead is 3rd seed, and I'm a very happy man because of this, because Copperhead has always been kind of an under-the-radar robot, and it's finally getting recognised for its potential and its power and how successful it could be in the future. It's the 3rd seed because it obliterated 3 robots, and people are finally starting to realise how much of a contender for the championship Copperhead actually is. So I'm glad that the selection committee put it 3rd and not 27th based on what they did to like Mad Catter and the other ones. So, you know, very, very good choice from the selection committee here, I must admit.
Let's see who they'll be battling in this group.
As much as it surprises me to say it, the seedings in this little quarter of the bracket are very good indeed. Jackpot is a little bit low for my liking, considering it's 3-0. It's going to have a very, very good fight against Rotator there. All of these fights look great again. Endgame versus Perfect Phoenix. I'm very happy to see that the young driver of Perfect Phoenix has a chance to show what he can do against one of the best robots in the field. Endgame is 6th, again, higher than some of the 3-0 robots, but I can kind of... This is kind of justified since it's slaughtered 2 robots already. Lockjaw versus Shatter. Shatter is the 19th seed. I am happy about that. I am happy that it's got a good seed because the show, for me, they've never portrayed Shatter as being a really competitive top 16 robot. They've just kind of portrayed it as unique. Oh, look, it has Omni wheels. It's got a really cool hammer. But it is definitely capable of making it to the semi-finals or quarterfinals, I think. I know some people would disagree with me, but I think Shatter could actually go very far, especially against Lockjaw, who's been having struggles this season. I think the Shatter absolutely has the capability to beat Lockjaw. Mammoth has been given a very good seeding, 30th. Like, they weren't the most impressive 3-1, but although they did beat Huge. So Sorry about that. Mammoth does absolutely deserve to be in the bracket. I think I've just reconsidered, and it absolutely does. Again, a lot of very good fights there. Let's see what the rest of the bracket has to offer.
The number 2 overall seed. And it goes to...
Whoa! What just happened?
Bloodsport!
Bloodsport is second seed, and that is fair enough. They are very impressive. It was, for me, a toss-up between Copperhead, Bloodsport, and Hydra to be first, second, and third place. So in any order, it makes sense for me. So Bloodsport, second seed, and they thoroughly deserve it. It's only their second season with this heavyweight robot, and it's already wreaked so much havoc this season. It's been so destructive. So even if they'd been given the first seed, I would have been happy with that, because they are incredibly impressive. They could go all the way. Whoa, Gruff sneaking in there at number 31. Don't think I didn't notice that. You just sneaking in there at number 31. They'll be up against Bloodsport. That should be a very good fight. I'm looking forward to that. Tantrum is seeded 18th, and I am very happy about this. And you know why I'm very happy about this? Their last fight against Gamma 9, it was perfect. It was the definition of systematic destruction. It was fantastic. I loved that fight. Fusion has been seeded very high considering its strength of schedule. I'm not sure why that is. Sawblade seeded number 7. That's okay. That's fine considering how they've done some of the other seeds. It did have a quite difficult strength of schedule, so you know, Sawblade number 7, it makes sense. Kraken number 20, is that 26? I can't see the number from it. 26. Yeah, so Kraken is, it's a very impressive 1 and 2 bot. It's had 2 tough losses that are just really unfortunate and have been really close, you know. So out of all of the 1 and 2 robots, I would expect them to be seeded one of the higher 1 and 2 robots that made it into the bracket. Speaking of 1 and 2 robots, I hope no deserving 2 and 1 robots have been displaced. Like, I haven't seen Malice yet, which is worrying me. They better be in the last section. And Witch Doctor there, seeded in the 20s. So that's fair enough, since they did dominate against Slammo and Scorpios. Scorpios have been seeded quite high, although they did pull off a win against Tombstone. So another really good set of fights.
Path of the least de resistance to the giant nut. And that team is none other than...
Whoa!
The Flipper Hydra, of course!
Hydra is the first seed, and that is going to annoy some people. I cannot wait to see what the people on Reddit who didn't like Hydra fighting Huge have to say about this. I cannot wait. But I think that makes Hydra the first Flipper to be ranked number 1 in the heavyweight category of BattleBots, which is really cool. Well done to them. And yeah, they just deserve. I've just seen them be Uppercut in the episode I've just watched, obviously, and I think they deserve the number 1 seed. Oh wow, so we've got some good fights here. Malice has been seeded 16th, so I'm glad that they've been included. So is Gigabyte. I forgot about them, going to be honest, but that is going to be a very good fight. Not a great matchup for Malice. I think that they're going to struggle in that one just because of the design of Gigabyte. It's going to be difficult for them to fight. Whiplash versus Huge rematch. I think that Huge is going to win this time. I think that it won last time, but lots of people were kind of disagreeing about that. It was a very close fight. It's going to be a good fight again this year. Valkyrie versus Sub-Zero, and Sub-Zero has made it. I was afraid that it wouldn't because of its strength of schedule, and Valkyrie has been given a nice high seed as well. I love both of those robots. I can't wait to see them fight. Hypershock has made it in. I like the Hypershock team. It's a good robot, but does it deserve to make it into the bracket? It had a tough strength of schedule, but it got slaughtered twice. I feel like this... Hang on a minute. Have we seen P1 yet? We haven't, have we? I've just watched P1 put on the best fight in the whole episode against Smeether, and they had their win against Kronos. So P1 is 2-1, but has been left out of the bracket in favour of Hypershock and Gruff. How? Every year they manage to do this. You've been given 3 years to get this stuff sorted out. How do you manage, the whole committee, how do you manage to leave P1 out of the bracket? Can someone justify that for me, please? I know that strength of schedule is a thing, but P1 has dominated Kronos, dominated against me, and now, right, obviously they lost to Copperhead, but Copperhead is the 3rd seed, and Hypershock, it's had a tough strength of schedule. It lost to Endgame. Sorry, it got slaughtered by Endgame. It lost to Gruff because the team were having problems getting it ready in time, and one of the team members broke their ankle, which is unfortunate. But they did have a good win against Mammoth. I just don't think that they deserve a spot over P1. Neither does Gruff, to be honest. Actually, hang on a minute. P1 is 2-1, and it's not had the hardest strength of schedule. No disrespect to any team, but like it hasn't. It's Kronos isn't endgame. That's my point. Compared to Hypershock's opponents, they haven't been too hard. But like, how has Fusion got the 15th seed? Their strength of schedule hasn't been ridiculously hard, and they've been seeded 15th. Sub-Zero hasn't had the hardest strength of schedule either, right? But how has P1 been left out of the bracket? I want to know how much time did they put into deciding this bracket? Did they not think through? Because that's what it's feeling like to me. Some of the seedings have just made absolutely no sense, but this one takes the cake. I cannot believe that P1 has been left out of the bracket. I cannot believe it. Like, the fights look good, but how is P1 left out? I don't understand it. It's just really confused me. Anyway, the top 32, in general, the seedings have been pretty good. There's been a few that have been shuffled around strangely, and I'm not sure why that is. But most of the robots who are in the bracket deserve to be in the bracket. It's just the order of them has been switched up a bit. However, P1 is not in the bracket, and I'm so annoyed at that. I am so annoyed. I feel like there's an element of Hypershock they can trust Hypershock to put on a really good show, and P1 is still a new robot. But I would have loved to see them fight Hydra. I would have loved to see them fight any of these robots. I don't think they should have been left out. It's such an... Nah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Anyway, I hope you like this new kind of reaction type video. I hope I don't get copyright struck, otherwise I'm gonna scream. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you disagree with me or if you agree with me, please let me know in the comment section. I love having those types of discussions. So thank you very much for watching, and good night.